Hello friends, today our topic is the cumulative distribution function for the discrete and continuous random variables. In the previous video lectures already we have discussed about the discrete and continuous random variables and their respective probability distributions. There already we have found the PMF, that means probability mass function for the discrete random variables or the discrete probability distribution, and the density curve and the probability density function for the continuous random variable. Now today our topic is the cumulative distribution function or the CDF for both the discrete and continuous random variables. Now when we were discussing about the frequency distribution, then already we have found the term that is known as cumulative. But there were particularly two types of cumulative frequency distribution, greater than or less than. But here for the cumulative distribution function for any type of random variable is particularly all are less than type. So let's start with the cumulative distribution function of a discrete random variable. Here already that if capital X is called the discrete random variable, we have defined before already, then we say capital Fx as the cumulative distribution function, where summation of k is equal to 1 to n is equal to PR x is equal to xk. That is just near about same as P of capital X is equal to small x, as like where x is the random variable and small x is particularly the values of the random variables. So for any real number of small x, that means the values of the random variable, the function capital Fx is equal to P of x less than equal to small x. Just remember here that is less than equal to. That's why already we have said that that type of cumulative frequency distribution for any type of random variable is particularly only less than equal to type. And that is known as the CDF or the cumulative distribution function, or simply it is also known as the distribution function or DF. So as cumulative distribution function is itself is a probability, so it must belongs to from 0 to 1. Now the properties of the frequency or the cumulative distribution function. Number 1, that is true, already we have said that must belong to from 0 to 1. Then limit of x tends to minus infinity of fx is equal to 0. What is this? Now x, that is the small x, that is the values of the random variables. Now already we have found that it may start from 0, 1, 2 up to plus infinity, whatever be the value of is. Also if we have small x is equal to 0, minus 1, minus 2, in that way up to minus infinity, then we can say limit of x tends to minus infinity of fx is equal to particularly 0. Same as for the positive values of small x, that means the values of the random variables, then we can say limit x tends to plus infinity of fx is equal to 1. That has been taken here. And another important factor of CDF is fx is a non-decreasing function of x. Non-decreasing means we can say it as a increasing function. Okay, so we will discuss it about each and every property with the help of some example. So the first example we start. First question is, find the CDF, that means the cumulative distribution function of the random variable capital X, which has been defined the number of heads obtained in tossing of a fair coin 3 times. So what is the experiment? Tossing a fair coin 3 times. So if we toss a fair coin 3 times, then our sample space is just H, 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 T, H, 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 T, T, H, H, or T, 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 H, T, H, T, or H, T, T. Must be 8, because each and every coin give us the result as 2 and there are 3. So the result is 8 and that is the true thing. Now what is the random variable? The random variable is capital X, the number of heads obtained. So here we can found the number of obtains, that means the values of the random variables X can take 0, no head obtained or no head seen, 1 head seen, 2 heads seen, and finally maximum 3 heads seen or observed. So those are the values of the small x for the random variable. Then the probability distribution. Now if we look at the thing, there are 8. So when there is no head obtained only one time, so probability distribution is 1 by 8. 1 head obtained, 1, 2, 3. 3 times among the 8. So the result is 3 by 8. And 2 heads obtained, that is HTH, HHT, that is 3 times. So that is once again 3 by 8. And 3 heads obtained, that is only 1 time. So 1 by 8. So what is the cumulative frequency? So the cumulative frequency is defined in that way. That means capital Fx, that is the CDF, and X for the values of 0, 1, 2, 3. So already we have said that Fx is defined in the way summation of P x less than equal to small x. So we start from F0, that means x value is 0, that is less than equal to 0, and only one value, that is 0 or fewer heads, that is only P of 0, and the result is 1 by 8. Now the next one, x value 1, so P 1 or fewer heads, that means it may possible no head, it may possible for 1 head. So that is the summation, because the summation sign is there. So we have 1 by 8 plus 3 by 8, the summation is up to calculation is 1 by 2. Then for F2, that is Px less than equal to 2, that means 2 or fewer heads, P0 plus P1 plus P2. Answer is 7 by 8, as 1 plus 8 plus 3 plus 8, 3 by 8 plus 3 by 8 is equal to 7 by 8. And finally the F3, that is Px less than equal to 3, so 3 or fewer heads, that is P0 plus P1 plus P2 plus P3, and final result is always 1. So if we describe it using a table, then we can write in that way. For 0, that is 1 by 8, so that is 1 by 8. For 1, that is 1 by 8 plus 3 by 8, that is 4 by 8. For 2, that is P0 plus P1 plus P2, that is 1 by 8 plus 3 by 8 plus 3 by 8 is equal to 7 by 8. And finally for x is equal to 3, the result is P0, P1, P2, P3. That means summation is 8 by 8 or equal to 1. So that is the way we can find out the CDF. So we are proceeding to the next example. Here the problem statement says the experiment is of rolling 2 fair dice, must be fair. Suppose that we have 2 fair 6-sided dice. One is yellow and the other is red, as in the image. We are rolling both the dice at the same time and add the two numbers that are shown on the upward faces. As like here, on the upward face of the red, that is 5, on the upward face of the yellow, that is 5. So the summation is 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. And let capital X be the discrete random variable associated to this sum. So we are defining the random variable X for the summation of the two numbers obtained from the upper face of the two dice. So the first question, how many possible outcomes are there? How many possible outcomes? Now that is very easy, because when we are getting or throwing a dice, we are getting the result as 6 outcomes. So when there are 2 dices, the outcome possible must be 6 square or 36. So the first question gives us the answer as 36. That is, the next question, how many different values can X assume? X means the random variable associated with the summation. So we have to find out the small x values of the random variable capital X. Now what may be the value? If we just think about the minimum sum obtained from the two dices are only 2. How? Because the minimum number of any dice is 1. So we can get 1 plus 1, suppose that is for red, that is for yellow. So the minimum number we can get the summation as 2. And maximum for R, that is 6, and maximum for Y, that is 6. So we can get the maximum number as 12. So the small value of X can be from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and maximum 12. So the how many different values can X assume? From 2 to 12. There are, in the part 1, there are 6 possible value each die can take. The two dice are rolled independently. That is, the value on one of the dice does not affect the value on the other die. So we see that there are 6 into 6, 36 different outcomes. Already we have said that is 6 square is equal to 36 possible outcomes. And for a single roll of the two dice, notice that all 36 outcomes are distinguishable since the two dice are different colors. So we can distinguish between a roll that produces a 4 on the yellow die and a 5 on the red die with a roll that produces a 5 on the yellow die and a 4 on the red die. That means as the color of the two dice are different, so we can distinguish the numbers very well, whatever be the number on the upper face of the dice that has been described here. The next question, that is how many different values. Already we have seen that that is from 2 to 12. However, we are interested in determining the number of possible outcomes for the sum of the values on the two dice, that is the number of different values for the random variable capital X. The smallest this sum can be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, already we have described, and the largest is 6 plus 6, 12. So clearly X can also assume any value in between these two extremes. Thus we conclude that the possible values for capital X are from 2 to 12. So the next question, how is capital X distributed? In English language, if we want to say how the association of the sum of the two dice are distributed, then that is what is the PDF of X. So if we want to distribute the X, that means we have the values of X, that is we are describing here from 2 to 12. So when we are getting the summation as 2, that means we are getting 1 by 1 comma 1. 1 for yellow, 1 for red. Total 36 outcomes and only 1 occurrences, for that value 2. So the probability is 1 by 36. Now the summation is 3, that means 1 2 or 2 1. So there are 2 occurrences, so 2 by 36. For the summation of 4, that is 1 3 2 2 3 1. 3 occurrences, so 3 by 36. For summation of 5, 1 4 2 3 3 2 4 1. 4 occurrences, so 4 by 36. Summation for 6, 1 5 2 4 3 3 4 2 5 1. So 5 occurrences and 5 for 5 by 36. For the summation of 7, 1 6 2 5 3 4 4 3 5 2 6 1. So that means 6 occurrences. So the probability is 6 by 36. For the summation of 8, 2 6 3 5 4 4 5 3 6 2, 5 occurrences. So the probability is 5 by 36. Next, for the summation 9, 3 6 4 5 5 4 6 3, 4 occurrences. So 4 by 36. For the summation of 10, 4 6 5 5 and 6 4. So 3 occurrences, 3 by 36 is the probability. 11, the summation 5 6 and 6 5, 2 occurrences, so 2 by 36. And finally the sum as 12, only 1 occurrence, 6 by 6. So the probability is 1 by 36. So that is how we can distribute the x. If we say that to construct the probability distribution for x, first consider the probability that the sum of the dice equals 2. There is only one way this can happen, already we have said, and that is just the description. Now we can draw the probability density function of x for the 2 dice summation total. And here on the x-axis, that has been given the summation, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And on the y-axis particularly, we have defined the percentage. And that is very easy, not a true fact. Okay. So that is the probabilities of the 2 dice totals, and we can display according to the graph here. So the next question, what is this? What is the probability that capital X is less than or equal to 6? Once again, what is the probability that capital X is less than or equal to 6? That means whatever we have to find out, we have to find out f for 6. That means p of x less than equal to 6. Now that is starting from 2. So up to 2 to 6. So that means particularly we have to find out p2 plus p3 plus p4 plus p5 and up to p6. Let's check what is the result here. So if we consider that one, that is probability from x less than equal to 6 or f6, so we are just putting the values of the probabilities. For that is p2, for that is p3, for that is p4, for that is p5. If we look here, that is p5 for 4 by 36, p4 that is for 3 by 36, and the final one p for 6, that is 5 by 36. The final result is the summation of the all probabilities, and that is the result. Now the final question. Now the final question goes in that way, what is the CDF or the cumulative distribution function of the capital X, that means the random variable X. So if we look at the thing here, that means nothing to do, just we have here the probability distribution according to the random variable values. So when that is 2, that means we have get 1 by 36. Now when that is 3, that means already that is P of 2 plus P of 3. So that means 1 by 36 plus 2 by 36, that means 3 by 36. Next, when that is P by 4 of P4, F4. So that means already we have 3 by 36 plus 3 by 36, that is 6 by 36. In that way, for 5, that is 6 by 36 plus 4 by 36. So that is 10 by 36. Next, when 6, that is already we have 10 by 36. So plus 5 by 36, that means 15 by 36. In the way, already we are proceeding up to 12, and finally we are getting that is 36 by 36 or 1. And that is very well known fact that the summation of all the px must be equal to 1. So here our discussion now follow to the next part, and that is the CDF or the cumulative distribution function of the continuous random variable. Here also, for any real number small x, that is the values of the random variable, the function fx, that is also true less than, but here just look, that is based on the integration, or already we know the PDF or the probability density function for continuous random variable is calculated by the integration. So the lower limit is minus infinity up to x. Now why minus infinity? Suppose we have a density curve and the value has been given as for x. Now less than equal to x means that is the area, and that goes up to minus infinity. So the lower limit is minus infinity. The area representing by that portion is particularly from minus infinity to x. That's why the lower limit is minus infinity and the upper is the value x. And it is also same as for the discrete, like known as cumulative distribution function or CDF or simply the DF. Here that has been once again according to the diagram shown why that is from minus infinity to x. That is according to x-axis we have treated the t, and that is according to y-axis, that is our PDF or the FT. So we are proceeding to the next part, that is some property for the CDF of the continuous random variable. That is as usual starting from 0 to 1. So the range belongs between 0 and 1. And as usual fx is a non-decreasing function of small x, that is if x1 is less than x2, then f of x1 less than equal to f of x2. Let's check with the density curve. x2 is greater than x1, so that means we can check the x2 here, and that is for the x1. So that is the area for the f of x1, and that is the area that is for f of x2. So obviously that must be the area that is greater than, so that's why it has been taken as fx1 is less than equal to fx2. And same as just like discrete, f of minus infinity is equal to 0 and f of plus infinity is equal to 1. Also note that the f of median is equal to half. Why? Already we know according to the density curve, the median always divide the total area by 50% and 50%. So by default the f of median is always half, and by mu bar we just define that is 0.5. Okay, so that is the median. And once again by differentiating the CDF we can have the PDF. That is, if we have fx as the CDF, then we can say ddx of fx is equal to the PDF. So we at that moment can say that is the first one, that is p of x less than equal to a is equal to minus infinity to a of fx dx is equal to fa. F of x greater than equal to b, we can write it from b to infinity, or that is 1 minus fb, since the total probability is 1. Then p of x greater than equal to b, we can write it as upper fb minus lower fa, and p x is equal to a, that is x a greater than equal to a, so from a to a, that is fa minus fa, that is 0. That's why. So we are proceeding the complete thing with an example. A dart is thrown at a circular dartboard of radius 5 units. That means already we have the dartboard here, that is the center and that is the radius of the dartboard. Let capital X denote the distance of the point where the dart lands from the center. If that is the center, so it may fall from here, 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 or here, or here. So which one is the minimum value at center when it is falling? So the distance of the dart from the center is 0. So it may be the lower value is 0. And finally, if it falls just at the corner or the perimeter of the circle, then the maximum value may be 5. So the range may be from 0 to 5. So the probability that the dart strikes in any given region of the dartboard is often by the area of the region divided by the area of the entire board. So here, suppose that is falling on the position that is x, that is distance from center. So the for value of x between 0 to and 5, fx is equal to p of x less than equal to 5. So p, the dart strikes within a distance x from the center, and that one is already we have told area of the inner circle divided by the area of the outer circle. Now outer circle. So what is the area of any circle? Pi of r square, where r is the radius of the circle. Now for the inner circle the radius is x, and for the outer circle the radius is 5. So we may say the area as pi x square divided by pi of 5 square, or x square by 25, as that is from 0 to 5. Now what is the PDF? That is already we have obtained fx. Now we can say the PDF means ddx of fx. So we are just differentiating the fx here. So x square by 25. So after differentiation, that gives us 2 by 25 x. So that is our PDF. And 0 to 5 fx dx, if we put the value from 5 to 0, that must be 1, and that is because, okay, we can do it, that is integration of x divided by 5 to 0, or 2 by 25 x square by 2 and 5 0. So the result is just 2 by 25 into 25 by 2, or 1. And that is how we can find out the CDF of any discrete random variable and the continuous random variable.